As a professional salesperson, do you need to believe in what you're selling in order to be successful? Absolutely. The other day, I talked about the fact that I think way too many salespeople use their lack of product knowledge as an excuse as to why they're not being successful. As I shared in that video, I don't buy it. Product knowledge is not needed in order to be successful. Will it help? Sure, it may, but it also can cause a host of problems because you then focus more on products, features, and benefits and not enough on how your product or service is going to benefit your customer. And therefore, I'm a huge proponent of the fact that product knowledge is an excuse that should never be used, or lack of product knowledge is an excuse that should never be used by a sales rep. That being said, as important is the fact that you as a professional salesperson, you need to believe in what you're selling. It reminds me of a story that Zig Ziglar told many years ago. You may be too young to remember Zig, but Zig was an amazing sales trainer and he had some tremendous stories. And one of those stories involved a salesperson that he was speaking to and managing when he was selling cookware. And that salesperson had run into a slump. They were having difficulty. They weren't able to sell their product. And Zig asked, do you own the cookware? And the sales rep said, oh man, I'd love to. It's beautiful, but I can't afford it. He was in a slump after all. He wasn't making enough money. And the cookware, it was nice, but it was expensive. Well, Zig talked to him for a period of time. And after going back and forth and handling his concerns, Zig convinced him that it probably was a good idea and a good value for him to buy that cookware, but based on how much money it would save him on food and all kinds of other things. And you want the full story, read the book. But Zig basically handled those objections, worked through, and got the salesperson to buy the cookware. After he'd done that and he started using it, he began to truly believe in the cookware because he was using it. And what do you know? He went on to become one of the most successful salespeople at that company ever. And that's why I believe that believing in the product and service you're selling, believing in the company you're representing is important. So my advice, very simply, if you're a professional salesperson or want to be a professional salesperson, don't worry about the product or service knowledge. Don't worry about having all the facts. Those can be gotten to your customers if they're needed, but you don't have to be the product expert. You need to, as I mentioned in the other video, you need to be able to understand how your product or service is going to make your customer's life better. And as importantly, you need to believe that the company that you represent can deliver on making those promises, that they can deliver on making your customers' lives better. If you don't believe that, I want you to ask yourself why. Is it just because of shortcomings on your own belief, because you haven't tried the product, or because it's too easy to empathize that the cost is too high? Or is there a problem with the company you're working with? Is there truly an integrity issue or a capability issue that the product isn't up to snuff? If the product's not up to snuff, it's time for you to move on and find another product or service to sell or another company to represent. But if it's a concern that you have just because of costs or other issues that may be going on, but you don't question the company's integrity, nor do you question their ability to deliver, then I want to have you look internally and I want you to challenge yourself to find out what you need to do in order to have full confidence that that product and service that you're selling will make your customers' lives better. Because remember, on every sales call, somebody gets sold. Either you are selling the prospect that they need your product or service, or the prospect is selling you that they don't. Make it a great day.